Welcome back to this tutorial where I'm going to be showing you how to design a church flyer using CorelDRAW and Photoshop. Without any further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is open my CorelDRAW. Once you open your CorelDRAW, this is the welcome screen you're going to see and the list of all your recent designs you have done. I'm going to be clicking on this plus button to add a new blank document. Once you click on it, I've already made the settings by default, so yours might be different. If you click the plus button or this plus button here, it still does the same thing. The size we are going to be using is 4x5. Just go to my page size, page dimension, and put in 4x5 and press enter. So yeah, this is going to be the size we are going to use. I already have a brief here. This brief is for a healing and miracle service, 30th November 2024, and the time is 5 p.m. Address is 3610 Dr. Big Lake, Alaska. Alright, so all this here is going to be a dummy text, and it's just for the purpose of this tutorial. All the information here are just dummy informations, and the link you can see right here are just link I'm going to be using for credits, where I got the image I'm going to be using. We are just going to come right here and copy our title, which is Healing and Miracle Service. I'm just going to hit Ctrl+C on my keyboard and copy that, then come to my CorelDRAW and select my text tool and paste in the text I copied. This is the text we are going to be using, and this is the heading, which is going to be the main focus for your design. So when designing a church flyer, the heading is always going to be the focus for your design before every other thing. I'm just going to come to my text tool again. If I like, I can type in the time, or just come back right to my brief and copy the remaining text, copy the address, paste it in, come back here, copy the date and the time, and then paste it in here. Next, let's just shift this to this place. So next thing we are going to do is we are going to break the text so that we'll be able to manipulate each of them individually. And the way, there are so many ways we can do that. Is either you can say Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V and paste it, or you can press on Ctrl+D on your keyboard to duplicate it. And if you are using a Mac, you can press Option+C and Option+V, or Command+C or Command+V, that is copy and paste. Or you can still do Option+D or Command+D, whichever one you want to use. The next thing you are going to do is I've already made so many copies, so I'm just going to delete the excess. The next thing you are going to do is press Ctrl key on your keyboard or Command key if you are using a MacBook. What this will do is going to split the text individually, like all the whole text individually is going to split it. As you can see, each text now is on its own, like healing, miracle, and service. The next thing we are going to do is getting our typography or arrangements. I'm just going to grab my grid lines here so I don't go out of print areas. This helps in giving you a clue of where your text or your design should fit in. It doesn't have to be perfect, or you don't have to do it, but for the purpose of this class, you are going to be doing it. What I'm going to be doing first of all, I'm going to be working with the background. So I've already arranged the project files in a folder on my desktop. Yeah, it's open right here, project. So what I'm going to be using is, I have these images that I downloaded online, and this background also I downloaded online, this background also that I downloaded online, and this wavy silk material that I also downloaded online. So you can use Google to search and download. I can see that this silk material is not a PNG format, and I want to use this image as the background of my design. This image right here, I want to use it as the background of my design. So what I'm going to do is go back to my project folder and drag this silk material to my Photoshop. Come right here, just paste it. So yeah, this is Photoshop. I'm going to select the silk material from the white background. There are so many ways you can do that. You can come to your selection to quick selection or magic wand, because I'm going to select magic wand because the remaining part of the image is white, so I can just click and it highlights all of them for me together. So yeah, I've just selected this. I'm going to invert the selection, so I'm going to press Ctrl Shift I just to select the silk material, and then click select and mask. So it's going to select and marks out the part you don't want, which is the white part. And now this is what we have. I'll just go ahead here and do some basic settings. You don't have to do this because it usually does a smooth selection for you. So yeah, I'm just going to come here and click OK. Save as PNG. Save as PNG. I'm going to drag that into my CorelDRAW. As you can see, it's a PNG now, unlike this other one up here that has a background. But now this does not have a background, it's just isolated. I'm going to double click on my rectangle tool to create a perfect rectangle on your document space. Double click here and you create a perfect rectangle. This is the rectangle here. Once you select it, I'll click the background image, right click on it and press on power clip inside. So once you click this option here, this arrow will come out telling you that, showing you or prompting you to put the selected image into the selected object you want, in this case this rectangle. So I'm going to click this rectangle here and you can see that it aligns perfectly inside the rectangle. If you want to edit anything within this rectangle right now, you're just going to press Ctrl on your keyboard and click on the rectangle. The rectangle opens up and you see your background. Now I'm just going to arrange the background the space I want. Like I want this red right here to show a bit more with a little bit of this white here or this pinkish part of the background. So I'm just going to click finish. Then we are back to the main document. So if you see, you can see some black outline here if you are using CorelDRAW. So the way we can remove this black outline is to click on your rectangle and come to your color palette. So where you see the first option on your color palette is the option to remove colors. You can see that the color box is striped with a red line, which means that no color. In this case, we don't need any outline on it, because once you are done with your design and you export, this outline is going to follow your design, so we don't need any outline in it. So I'm just going to come over here and remove it. So next thing we are going to do is I'm going to bring in my silk material, put it where I want, because the reason why I'm using this silk material is I want to put my healing and miracle service in this silk material. So I don't want to put it on the main background. I want to play around with it and use this silk material as my background for the text. So I'm just going to align it here and this is perfect. So the next thing I'm going to do is, okay, maybe we are going to leave this for later when we are done with the design. These images right here, the images I want to use as the background, like the watermark behind the background. So once we go to that point, you understand what I'm talking about better. Next thing we need to do is go over to our project document. I think on my download folder I have some image I want to use as the pastors for the program. These are the images. You can use your pastor's image or whatever image you want, but for the purpose of this tutorial I just got these images, so we can use them for the purpose of this tutorial. I'm just going to drag and drop in my images, drop them on CorelDRAW. Oh, I'm not going to use this, so I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to reduce it a bit. Once you get the right proportions, you can right click, power clip and power clip inside. Okay, yeah, the reason why this is not working is I'm trying to power clip this image to this image, so it's not gonna work. Right, so what's gonna happen is, you see this image, power clip inside this rectangle, select this one, power clip inside this rectangle. So yeah, this is what you got. So This is okay. The next thing we are going to do is your date and your time. Okay, I'm going to separate this. Next thing is I don't want the November to be written very full, makes it boring and long. So I'm just going to use the short form of November. So the font I'm going to be using for the date and the time, I think I'm going to use Mount Strat. It's bold and visible enough. But I can come back and change it later if what I'm going to do won't fit. So I can come back anytime and change it. The next one is the time. I want a demarcation for the time. I'm going to do this. Yeah, drag and drop on your document. Oh, by the way, this is my first tutorial on this channel, so I'm hoping it does well. Okay, I'm still going to come back to change the color, so I'm just trying to get the typography right. So next thing we are going to do is our address. So this is the address, and I already downloaded an icon for the address, which is this. I'm going to drag and drop the icon here, but I can see that oh yeah, it's not a PNG, so I still need to use Photoshop. But I can still use CorelDRAW to remove the background, but then it's going to waste a bit of time, so I'm just going to use Photoshop for now. Maybe in the next tutorial I'm going to show you how to remove your background with CorelDRAW without having sharp edges. So right now I'm on Photoshop. I'm going to remove the background. So the next thing we are going to do is select our quick selection tool, or any of the tool that is okay with you. It doesn't matter. If you can get a clean selection, that is only what matters. Okay, so same thing as before. Yeah, click OK. Now I'm going to save as PNG and click yes. Now you are going to drag and drop it in your CorelDRAW. Now this is what you have, and this is conflicting. This red color is kind of conflicting with the background, but we can still change that later. I'm going to delete this. So this is the address. Yep, select your font. I'm going to group this together. Just select all and press Ctrl G on your keyboard, and it's going to group those objects for you, so you don't have to be moving them separately. You are just going to increase it. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to feather this image to blend in with the background. So what we are going to do is select your image, come to this tool right here, transparency tool, select, then zoom in, then click and drag. You see this two arrow comes out here, then click and drag. You see, and then you are done with that. Make it color white. Yeah, so we have gotten the basic layout for this design. What you are going to do next now is to make it more professional, and the way to do that this is just the basic layout, right? We are just going to try and make it more professional and make it align well. Okay, what I like to do is select the main background, go to effect, go to blur, and select Gaussian blur. You don't need to apply it too much, so we are going to reduce the blur a bit. I'm going to reduce the radius a bit and click OK. Now the next thing I like doing is, after I apply the blur effect, I come back to effect, go to noise, and I add noise. When I add the noise to it, you can see that it has some kind of grainy effect on it. So I'm going to click OK after you have done that. Another thing I like to do is with the background is make the background pop out more. So, and how to do that, we are going to press Ctrl B on our keyboard to brighten it up, brightness and contrast. So we are going to reset this brightness because obviously this is not what I want. So we are going to just press reset. Then we are going to touch decrease the brightness a little bit. Yeah, this is good. Then increase your contrast. You can see that the color pops out a bit. Yeah, this is good. No, I think I like the previous one. Yeah, this is good. So now that we have this, I think I'm okay with this. Now we are going to blend our backgrounds or our extra images. We are going to blend them with the background in such a way that we call it watermark. I'm just going to select this wheelchair image. The reason why it's a picture, you can use anything depending on your content. We are dealing with healing and miracle service, so we are just going to be using a wheelchair just to depict what we are trying to say. So if you might have maybe Thanksgiving service, maybe you might have friendship service or whatever your brief says, so you get images that fit to your brief, not just random images. Try to get images that fit to your brief. So I'll just grab this wheelchair image. What I like to do is come to effect, go to creative and click Vigent, and this is what you have here. After you apply that, then you are just going to look for the space where you want to put that. For me, I'm going to put it somewhere here. Yes, then go back to effect, adjust, then desaturate. Yeah, so just made it black and white, make it pop a little bit. Come to your transparency tab, then click on uniform transparency up here, then set the transparency radius. Me, I like to use 75, or just play around with it, play around with the numbers, whatever fits to your design, you can do that. So I think I'm okay with 65. I'm going to right click on it and power clip into the box, the rectangle. Then I'm going to go into the rectangle and send this wheelchair back from the silk material. So the way to do that is select your image, press shift on your keyboard, click down. You see it's going to go behind all the whole other objects. So you are just going to select your main background and press shift, place down. You can see that it's behind your silk material. So I'm still going to reduce it a bit, and I think this transparency is not is too faded, so I think I'm just going to go with 50. Yeah, I think this is okay. The next thing we're going to do is with the image, this other image, this worshipping image. Yeah, so remember, convert to bitmap, or press Alt B on your keyboard. You're going to see this option, bitmap, convert to bitmap. Always use RGB. Click OK, then go to effect, go on creative and select vignette. Now the options are going to come out. Just click OK, you don't need to change anything. Then you are still going to power clip it inside your main rectangle. I'm just trying to arrange fit it where I want before I power clip. So I think I like it here. I think I'm going to make it black and white. Let's see. Effect, adjust, desaturate. Yeah, this is good. Power clip inside. Now the next thing is, if you remember, I said I don't want it to be on the silk material. So if I like, I can just select the silk material and the image and press shift page up, and it will come up. Right, I think this option was better than taking it backward and doing another step of backward, if you understand what I mean. So if you are familiar with CorelDRAW, you know that taking things backward is just pressing shift and pressing the option on your keyboard. Hold your shift key, either page down, page up. You can go down or you can come up. Like if you want any object to go behind any other object, you can just press shift page down and it goes down. That object goes behind. Then if you want that same or another object to come up of another object, you get the point. So effects, go to noise, add noise a bit, not too much, and keep up. I think this is okay. The next image we are going to be using is this. I don't think this is even necessary, but then let's see how it goes. Transparency. Now we are going to use overlay. I'm going to get it all the way up. What next? What next? What next? I think I'll do this. Yeah, this is good. Now it's remaining our main text, which is our main heading: healing and miracle sense. So yeah, so let's just go right to Photoshop. No, let's do it in CorelDRAW, then we can manipulate it more in Photoshop. So start with healing. So what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to get a font I want to use. So this process is kind of tedious if you don't know exactly what you want to do. So you just have to be going over and over and over and over looking for the right kind of font to use. So I'm just going to go through all the whole process with you guys so that we know how to choose our fonts. Now when I go to my font tab, I have up to 13,934 fonts. It's quite a lot. I don't usually use all. I've never used all. I just maybe use like 5% from the total amount of fonts, but it's good to have more so that when you are looking for fonts, you can make decision quickly. Yeah, so let me just go and look for the kind of font I want to use. Okay, I think we're done with the text. I think I like this, but I'm still going to play around with the text. I think I'm going to break this apart. Yeah. So to add a little bit of swag to this text, what I like to do is where I see that any text I'm using intersects, I like to give that curve to it, the intersecting curve. Like for this G, for example, this G here intersects with L and E, so I'm going to create this curve right here so that it gives the design a more professional look. So I'm going to select the healing, come to the shadow option on my toolbox, click and hold, you see this option called contour. Select it, apply the contour up here, outside contour. I've already made a contour before, so it will just use your last settings, but then you can do a new setting if you want. So I'm going to do a new setting, come over here, select round contour, then I'm still going to reduce the contour size because it's too big. So I think this is okay. With this selected, I'm going to press Ctrl K on my keyboard to break the text from the contour. The contour right here is the red outline you can see here, the red outline. So I'm going to select it, select my miracle text, then this option will come out here. It's going to ask you to weld or trim or intersect or simplify. So what you are going to be doing is we are going to trim. So trim that part using the curve. So once that is done, you can now select your contour outline and delete it. You can see that the curve here, you can see the curve here now that's applied to the text. So I'm still going to do that with the hand, the circle in the hand. I'm going to select the circle, add a contour to it, and see the contour. So I'm going to break the contour apart from the circle, then select the contour and select the healing text and trim it. Then you can see that same curve here I've added to the J. Now I think this is okay. What I'm going to do right now is take this same text to Photoshop and I'm going to make it a 3D text. You can still do that in CorelDRAW, but it will take a little bit of time. But because of this tutorial, I'm going to be using Photoshop to do all the text effect. So I'm just going to export this as, copy it, take it to my document, make it more bigger, now export as PNG obviously. So I'm going to export that as PNG. Click OK. Now go to my project file where I saved it. This is it right here. Now I'm going to drag and drop it on a new document in Photoshop. A new document in Photoshop here. So this is the text. I'm going to click on Ctrl C to transform. I'm going to reduce it a bit. Yeah, this is okay. Now I'm going to double click on the thumbnail to open the layer style. Now what I'm going to add is I'm going to add the texture to it. I'm going to add the texture. I'm going to add the contour to it. I'm going to add color overlay. Then no pattern, blue outer. Now I'm going to drop shadow. Check shadow color we are going to be using is here, obviously black. Click OK for the shadow. Now the texture is selected. Select the kind of texture we want. I'm I'm just going to select something basic just for the purpose of the tutorial. Now I added a stroke to it, and the stroke color is going to be, let's say, white or orange. Yeah, I like this a bit. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Yeah, don't mind this part here, because when we take it to CorelDRAW, I'm still going to correct this. I knew that this was going to happen, like this blank, and I knew it's going to happen. So let's just take it to CorelDRAW and see. We are going to save as, obviously, PNG. See text effect. Click OK. Now we are going to copy our text, take it to CorelDRAW back, put it on your project file, and boom. So sorry, I was just trying to arrange the text properly so that it fits in. I was just moving some things around. Yeah. Okay, so this is better. Yeah, so we're just moving things around, trying to make everything fit and align together. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a shadow to our silk material. So I'm just going to ungroup this. Yeah, that's it. So come to your shadow tool and click add shadow. Just drag, and you see that the shadow applied. Increase the shadow depth. This is okay. Now we're going to add the shadow to the date and the time, so it can pop from the main background. Select your shadow tool and add your shadow. The shadow is now just add the shadow again. This is okay. Next thing I'm going to do is add the shadow to our main our pastor. We're going to add the shadow to his picture, but I can see that the picture is having some white, grainy, sharp edges, so I'm going to fix that. Just go to effect, go to blur, select feather, and feather out the part. It's just going to feather around the edges, so there's no need to panic. Yeah, I think this is okay. Next thing I'm going to do is this address. Okay, let's feather the picture more so that the address can sit on its own without obviously staying on top of the image. I think this is better. Or what we can do is use this silk material, the background for the image. Yeah, so let's go to blur, say motion blur. Yeah, I think I like this. Then effect and add noise. not always, but in rare cases when you add noise to your images, it makes it look more sharper. So I'm going to make this location icon white, or probably black and white. So just desaturate it, makes it more better, obviously. Yeah. And this is okay. Then add the shadow to your text to make it pop out more. Okay, I think I'm done with this. Then I think what is remaining is the name of our pastor. We are going to give our pastor a name. Let's just say PST Apostle. Let's not forget our and. So I'm going to bring the original. Voila, this is what we have. So this is just going to zoom in and check if there's any other thing I need to change or any other thing I need to do. Yeah, so this is what we have. So when I want to export, I always export two versions of my designs. So I'm just going to select or make a copy, Ctrl C, open a new document, like a new page, then paste it. I'm going to make this image the image of the pastor. I'm going to make it black and white. Desaturate black and white. Click export. That's one. Then the main one, click export miracle service. Now I'm going to name it 2. And with that, you're just going to save. And please always save when you are working, so you don't lose your files in case your CorelDRAW or your Photoshop crash or whatever. So always save. And save new folder, creative. So after doing that, we are done. So if you have any question, you can type in your question in the comment section. Always like and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so that anytime I drop another tutorial, you'll be the first to know. Thank you very much.